If you hate the Dallas Cowboys, smash that like button. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to go through some OTA winners and losers, as the Giants have already had 3 of their 10 practices, and they have a little bit of a break till they get back on the practice field. So in today's show, we're going to go through some standouts and I guess some losers in OTAs. Really, there are no losers in OTAs. It's non-padded practice. No contact is allowed. There's no 11-on-11s. The most competition you're going to get is 7-on-7 periods. The Giants will be back on the field to finish up their OTA period to close out the month of May. Then they have one practice on June 2nd. Then a little bit of a break. Then they practice on the 5th and the 6th. And they close out the OTA period on the 8th and the 9th. Then they have mandatory minicamp. That's when things really start popping off from June 13th to the 15th. Then we're going to continue to put out videos every day on the latest Giants news and rumors here on the channel. We'll break down all the OTAs. We'll break down mandatory minicamp. And if anything pops up, like Giants make a move, they sign anyone, we're going live here on the channel. And if we get to 29,000 subs by the time we do our live show on Monday, we're a little over, 415 subs away. If we get to 415 new subs, 29,000, by Monday, I'm starting Monday's show with a beer boot. That's 3 beers in a boot, and we chug. Let's see if we can do it. All right, let's get into the bulk of the show. Giants OTA winners and losers so far. Like we talked about, they've had just 3 attempt practices, more practices to come. Let's start with the winners. And the winner, the biggest winner of OTAs so far, is Darren Waller. Reports are coming out that he has been the best player on the field for the New York Giants on the offensive side of the ball. Everything that was talked about, the player that he was and the guy he could be, the talent, 6'6", 4'4", 40, incredible receiving threat. He has been that and then some. He has been absolutely credible in the early sessions of these Giants OTAs. And the chemistry between him and Daniel Jones is popping off the field. They connected for 3 touchdowns on day 1 of OTAs. Didn't have a touchdown in day 2, but in day 3, they connected on 3 deep balls, 2 down the sideline and 1 over the middle. Darren Waller, he is going to be an X factor for the Giants this year. And Daniel Jones is already impressed with what he's seen from the pass-catching tight end. He said Darren has been great. As soon as you walk on the field, you can see he is a big guy, and he can run every route and catches the ball really well. And he has great body control. He has been really fun to work with. Really a smart guy, and has picked things up really quickly. He said he's a true 6'6", 260-pound guy. He is an impressive athlete. He is locked in. You can tell it is important to him. He has put a lot of effort into learning the stuff and getting caught up. It has been fun working with Darren Waller. And you love to hear this because there were some rumblings coming out of the Las Vegas Raiders that Darren Waller wasn't really all about football anymore. He wants to be a rapper, but everything we're hearing about Darren Waller as he joins the Giants is that he is proud and ready to put on the big blue and be one of the best tight ends this franchise has ever seen. Another winner early on in OTAs is Darius Slayton. He has really impressed so far, and the connection with him and Daniel Jones continues to remain strong, and I think it's getting stronger and stronger. They have that deep ball connection down. Go back to when they were both rookies, and Darius Slayton had 8 touchdowns in his rookie season, and he's picking up just where he left off after that Minnesota Vikings game in the playoffs, and he needed it. He's a guy that I think plays better when he builds up a couple of good reps and has some confidence, has some of those concentration drops, but if he can tidy that up, he could be a player on this team. We saw that last year, and you like that he's producing because this wide receiver depth chart is crowded, and there's only going to be so many reps to go along. I believe that they're going to keep 7 wide receivers on this roster, and I believe the only locks that are absolutely going to make this roster are Isaiah Hodgins, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, and Jalen Hyatt. Then you're looking at guys like Jamison Crowder, Sterling Shepard, Colin Johnson, Bryce Ford-Wheaton to fill those last 2 spots. Maybe Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson start the season on the PUP list, and it opens a spot maybe for a Crowder or a Johnson then, but it's going to be tight. But it sounds like Slayton is here to stay after he signed that big contract in the NFL offseason. I do want to ask you guys this question, though, because I always get asked, Marshall, who is going to be wide receiver 1 for the Giants? And I always say Darren Waller. But let's classify him as a tight end in this discussion, even though I believe he's going to line up a lot outside. Which Giants wide receiver will have the most receiving yards in the 2023 season? Give me your vote down below. A rookie has emerged as a Giant OTA winner early on, and that is Gervarrius Owens, the safety and 7th-round pick out of the University of Houston. The Cougar has really impressed so far for the New York Giants. He has been all over the field. He's had multiple pass breakups and touchdown-saving PBUs early on in OTAs. And a lot of people feel that Owens will compete for starting reps at that safety position right next to Xavier McKinney after the Giants lost out on re-signing Julian Love after he signed that big deal with the Seattle Seahawks. I've been impressed from what I've heard from Gervarrius Owens, and it sounds like he's going to challenge Dane Belton and Jason Pinnock to be that number 2 safety on this team. It sounds like Bobby McCain has been the safety that has emerged as a starter alongside McKinney, but I do believe it is up in the air for grabs between Pinnock, McCain, and Belton and Owens. It's going to be a 4-horse race. Let the best man win. Competition always brings out the best results when it comes to the gridiron. Another winner is Ben Bredeson. Ben Bredeson was a guy that's bounced around this offensive line. He's played some guard. He was expected to play some center, but once the Giants drafted John Michael Schmitz, they moved Bredeson back to the left guard spot, and he's getting the first-team left guard reps, and that is a huge development in my opinion. For so long, I believed that Joshua Ezeudu was going to be that starting left guard, and I even have that on our depth chart right here. But it looks like Bredeson may be that guy, and that's unfortunate for Giants fans and the development and youth of this team. Obviously, things can change. It's just the start of OTAs. But Joshua Ezeudu, who was a top 70 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, you want that guy on the field. I know he's coming back from a serious injury back in November of last year, maybe just trying to ease him into things, but I'd like it for him to be the starting left guard of the future. But if Ben Bredeson's the best player, best man win, best man plays, let's get the best 5 out there. And that's what Bobby Johnson and Dable are going to do. We got more winners and losers to talk about in a second. But first, make sure you guys are hooked up with our proud sponsor of today's show, Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com and use this right here, the promo code chat. They're going to hook you guys up with a free Yeti-style tumbler. I love Bird Dog shorts, and I'm going to be wearing them all summer long because they make me feel good. I know I look good in them. And the fabric, the fit, and the quality is top tier and unparalleled. I love them because they're breathable. They fit right in all the right places, and all the different styles that they have are awesome. You can get the pants, you can get the shorts, and they're versatile. You can wear them to work. You can wear them to work out. You can wear them to go on a date. If you're going out to the bar with a couple of fellas to watch some games, you can even wear them to the beach if you want to. Get hooked up and experience the comfort of Bird Dogs, the most versatile shorts and pants in the game. Go to birddogs.com. Use the promo code chat. This link and this promo code is clickable down in the comment section. Get right for the summer, dudes. Let's ride. Get your Bird Dogs. Be a real one. An OTA winner, and the last one we have on station. There's a whole bunch of OTA winners, but I thought these 5 guys, according to reports, had really stood out into people I talked about. Micah McFadden, Bobby Okereke, the Giants' prized off-season free agent acquisition, the linebacker, said he has been thoroughly impressed by Micah McFadden, and that is good news. McFadden was selected in the 2022 NFL Draft. He had a really, really good season last year in college. PFF ranked him as one of the best linebackers going into the draft. And if the Giants can solidify him or someone at that inside linebacker spot next to Okereke, that's going to take this defense to the next level. It sounded like Davis was getting the initial starting reps next to Okereke, but Wing Martindale said that job is up for grabs, and it's going to come down to Beavers, Davis, and McFadden. Sounds like Carter Coughlin may be falling out of favor at that position. So we talked about the winners. Guess we're going to talk about losers. In life, there's winners and there's losers. I chose to be a winner. None of these guys actually are losers. Look, it's non-padded OTA practice. Nothing to overreact about. Look, I'm not being mean to any of these guys. It's just, I got to do it. It's my job. I would consider 2 losers, Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. And one thing, they are absolutely not losers. They are very rich, they are very successful, and they are very good football players. But the reason I have them on this list isn't because they're losers. It's just because I want to talk about them, because neither of these guys are not at voluntary OTAs. Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams have not been participants and have not shown up for a OTA so far. They are training in South Florida together, according to Jordan Renan and ESPN, which it's not a huge deal, but I don't think it's a great thing that Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams are not at practice. I mean, Dexter Lawrence, they just gave you $100 million. I think you should show up. Leonard Williams, there's talks about you having to take a contract restructure or a pay cut. I think you should show up. Not going to make too big of a deal of this. This isn't the Kadarius Toney of last year, where he was a second-year player and you had a brand-new coach and you had a brand-new general manager and you wanted to set a good example. This is more so just two veterans taking care of their body as they get ready to roll in the offseason. I wish they were there. I wish they were there for the team camaraderie, but the facts are the facts, and they are not there. You're getting to see more from the rest of the guys on this defensive line without these two guys there. They are our best defensive linemen, in our opinion, and I need Leonard Williams to have a great season this year. Thought he was a little bit, I know he's banged up last year, had that neck injury, but we need an elite season from number 99, especially if he's going to be making $30+ million this season. So I had Ben Bredeson as a winner in OTAs so far, which means I have to have Joshua Ezeudu as a loser, who once again is not a loser. Please don't go in the comments and say, none of these guys are losers. I know that. It's just the name of the segment. With Ben Bredeson being the starter early on in camp, that means Ezeudu is going to be rocking with the second team. And maybe I am the loser in this situation because I want Joshua Ezeudu to be the starting left guard. I think he has the feet, the strength, the punch power, the technique, and the fundamentals to be an elite guard in this league. He just needs those reps. Talked about it earlier. The injury could be holding him back, and I'm going to keep him in the depth chart until we get an official depth chart because I am trying to speak it into existence. I want to see Joshua Ezeudu be the starting left guard for this football team. But right now, it sounds like Ben Bredeson is going to be the guy getting those reps. We also had Micah McFadden as a loser, which on the flip side means Carter Coughlin is unfortunately a loser, and I think he might be being squeezed out of this 52, 53-man roster. I think he's on the roster bubble. I just think he's on the outside looking in. I think it's going to come down between Carter Coughlin and Micah McFadden as to who's going to get that final roster spot to be in this linebacker core. Maybe if Darian Beavers is slow and continues to rehab and it doesn't progress the right way, he could start the season on the PUP list, and then you could give that roster spot to Carter Coughlin. But I really believe it's going to come down to Coughlin or Cam Brown. I don't see the Giants keeping 6 inside linebackers. It's going to come down to Carter Coughlin or Cam Brown for that final roster spot. I think they might give it to Brown for the special teams versatility. Coughlin could play there as well. It's just a gut feeling that I have right now. Also, not a loser because he's won, not there. But this just gives me an excuse and a reason to talk about Saquon Barkley, who is not at OTAs, and it's because he is not allowed. He's following the rules, of course. Saquon Barkley cannot be at OTAs because he has not signed that franchise tag, and he does not have a contract offer for the New York Football Giants, so he cannot be there. And it's upsetting, no doubt about it, but it's the nasty side of football. It's a business, and I don't blame Saquon Barkley one bit. Use every tool you have in your toolbox to go get your money, young man. But at the end of the day, I'm a fan of the New York Giants, and as a Giants fan, it is frustrating, I guess you could say. Your best offensive player, potentially, a guy that's a captain, never missed a voluntary workout in his life with the New York Giants, is not there. And this is the time where playoff runs are made, in my opinion. The offseason is where good teams are formed. And right now, you don't have Saquon there. You don't have Leonard Williams there. You don't have Dexter Lawrence there. Not the end of the world. Not a huge deal. But something that's probably just a little bit annoying, in my opinion. I appreciate everybody, as always, for tuning in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. Happy Friday. Enjoy your holiday weekend. And thanks for rocking with us. We'll see you later.